what are the other features they are going to highlight in this particular state called Kerala, which is called as God-owned country. Which are the types of services and what are the types of services which have been rendered to the customers? What they say, visitor is God. So it says, our guest is blessed. Hi and a warm welcome to all dear students. I, George Ulime, Commerce Faculty, Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Dear students, I welcome you all for the session 3 of Unit 3, that is under Principles of Marketing. We see the marketing, that is service marketing. So here under session 3 of service marketing, let us understand the next concept, that is tourism. Before going that, I just want to give a glance of the last session where I explained to you about, that is the hospital, what are the things that takes, that is the 7 P's of things in the hospital, that is the product, the place, then physical product, price, then we have place, then promotion, people, process, as well as the physical evidence. Then I explained to the importance of the marketing strategies as well as the service marketing mix, right? I explained to you all the 7 marketing mix, that is a 7 P's of service marketing mix. So in today's, we'll see about the tourism. The next application in your unit is about tourism. In the last session, I explained to you about the hospital. So students, here also we have the same 7 P's is applicable to this particular tourism, right? So it is also one of the service marketing where you are going to learn about this particular tourism. So it says first one is product. What under this particular product of tourism, it says what are the products which have been sold under this particular tourism. First one is the accommodation. They'll provide you the accommodation wherever, whichever tourist spots you go, if they'll provide you the accommodation for the clients, right? So accommodation is very, very important because only when there's a proper accommodation, the people or the customers will be happy to go to that particular place or visit that particular place. Second is attraction. So that particular tourism place, it should be a very attractive one. Only then the people and the children will be very much attractive to see that particular place. If it is not attractive one, then that particular tourism place will not have a very good marketing, right? Or it will not have the customer for that particular place or the destination. Then third is transportation. They are giving you the product of transportation, that is taking you from your place to that and reaching you till that destination. So the transportation, it may be of various means or modes. It may be through road or it may be through sea or it may be through the airways, right? So whichever the modes of transportation you choose, so that will be provided and whichever is available. Then recreation, that is what are the entertainments you are going to get in that particular tourism spots, right? All the recreation and entertainment facilities that will be provided there in the tourism spots. Then shopping malls or wherever you can do all the different kinds of shoppings. When you go to a tourism place, there you can find a lot of shopping things or the shopping malls will be there or shops where you will be attracted towards this and you will be purchasing something from there. Then restaurant to eat and dine. So that is also one of the product which is being sold under the tourism, right? So all these are the various different products where you can see which is being sold or to the customers. Now coming to the pricing part. So under tourism, we can see what will be the cost to go to that particular tourism place, right? Or that particular place where you want to see the different things or about the nature. So the cost will be incurred here. Then how much is the demand for that? So if there is lot of demand, then or more demand is there, then cost also will be more expensive it will be. Then competition. So whether there is lot of competition for that particular place or not, that also will be included under this. If there is more competition, price also will vary and there is a lot of competition, offers, discounts, everything will be given to reach that particular destination or the tourism spot. Then the duration, time period. So within that stipulated time period, whether you are going to reach, whether it is very nearby or it takes lot of time. So that also will be taken into consideration when they do the pricing or the price of that particular tourism spot. Then modes of transport. So which transport you are going to choose or whichever the transport is available. So depending upon that, the price of the transport also will be decided. and peak and non-peak seasons. So sometimes in some particular areas of tourism spots, there will be season and sometimes they will not be having season. So when you go to that particular place, tourist spots, when there is a season or when it is peak period, then the price will be more. But when you visit at the time when there is no peak period or when there is no season, then the price may be little less compared to the peak period. So these are the various aspects of pricing under tourism. Now coming to the promotion of this tourism, it says different states highlighting about their features. So how they are going to promote their particular tourism spots or the tourist places. That is, different states, each and every state is having different and lot of tourism spots or places. So each state will be highlighting their places in the form of different ways or different features, and through that they are going to project it in the form of promoting that particular tourist centers or tourist spots. Such one like we have Kerala. If you visit the Kerala, we call it as God's own country. So that is the highlight of that particular state. So they say that it is God's own country or God's made country, they say. So here highlighting about the backwaters, what are the other features they are going to highlight in this particular state called Kerala, which is called as God's own country. So here it is a very good tourism spot and tourism place. I think most of you might have visited it and it's very good, and really you can enjoy the nature there, right? So here you can see the backwaters of that particular, it may be the rivers of Kerala where it is, then the Ayurveda, whatever the Ayurveda applications or what you say the Ayurveda things will be available there. Then the elephants you can see there, the boat houses, beaches, all these are the various features which will be taken into consideration for the promotion aspect, right? So this is also very important, the Incredible India and Atithi Devo Bhava. So these are the two important taglines or the statements which is being given in order to promote that particular state's tourism, right? So it is of Indian tourism, and our guest is blessed, and what they say, visitor is God. So it says our guest is blessed, our guest has been blessed, and our visitor is a God. So this is all the tactics or the strategies in the just in order to promote your tourism spot or the tourist places, right? So this promotion, how they are going to do it? They use different kinds of strategies, as I told you, like it may be published in the websites in order to sell the tourism. Then there you can find the brochures of that particular tourism spots, pamphlets will be there. Then in newspapers, in each and every aspects, they are going to spread their tourism spots or tourism places in order to promote their tourism. The fourth one is the place. Place is what? The destination. Place is a destination, very, very important. So here it says the travel agents, then this travel operators, etc. All these are the people who will be distributing the points where and which place you need to go, which is very important, which is more attractive, which is having lot of where you can get lot of experience and knowledge about that particular area. So those will be decided by this particular tour agents and the tour operators, and they will take you to that particular places, tourism spots where it's most of historic in nature, etc. So proper infrastructure, transportation and communication, all these are part of this particular tourism of called as place. Now coming to the people, that is under tourism, the service mix, it says the role of people here is very, very important and significant, because it says here in tourism, people are involved. Most of the people are involved in this service sectors, that is in tourism sector, because we see lot of travel agents will be there, then lot of guides will be there to guide you, right? Then airline crew members will be there to help you out in the airlines, then receptionists in the hotel will be there to help you out in the hotel, right? In finding out whether proper restaurants to get the rooms, accommodation, everything. So contact with people may be very high, medium or low. So here when you enter this particular tourism, you can contact lot of people, and that particular contact will be sometimes it will be very high, sometimes it will be very low, or sometimes it will be very medium in scale. Now examples we can see in case of airlines. If you take the airlines, that is about the people, here they say that the passengers, they will have a very high and a good time, right? Or a medium contact with the air hostess who are there in the plane, and ground staff where low or no contacts with the pilots. So here if you take the airlines, when you want to reach that particular destination, for example, you want to go to Switzerland, When you want to see the Switzerland, then you have to go in plane. So when you go in plane, you come in contact with so many people. It may be the crew members of that particular plane. It may be the air hostess. So it may be of medium and low level people, contact people will be, you can be meeting them, but you cannot meet the pilots, right? So that's what it says under this particular example called as people. Now coming to the source process. Coming to the process, it says in this tourism mix, very easy to book. How the process takes place, which are the various means of process in order to reach that destination of tourism spots or places. So it is very easy to book. To book that particular destination, or you want to see that particular destination, then it is very, very easy to book, and you can book that particular tourism spot where you want to see or reach. Then lot of clear instructions is there regarding that particular spot or the tourism places. Then it is very easy to pay in cash, whether you can pay it in the form of cash, you can pay it in the form of credit cards or any other bank transfers, and also sometimes cancellation terms also will be there. So the total process here, it is very, very simple and very easy to understand by any of the clients or the customers. Now next is the physical evidence we see. That is, physical evidence means when you reach that particular destination or the spot, that is the physical evidence, how it has been worked on. Then productivity and quality. So here this particular process of productivity and quality, that is which comes under tourism, that involves positioning of the process and overall destination, that is of tangible services. So you can find it is involving the position of the process as well as the overall destination of that particular tourism, which are intangibles, that is where you cannot touch it or you cannot see it. So it also involves position of tourism as national priority. So this particular productivity and quality, you can find it is involving that the position of your tourism in the as a national priority. So every country wants to see that there is a growth in the tourism sector, thereby telling the people to come and visit, and you can see that there is a lot of growth and productivity takes place, and also a good quality service will be provided in this particular tourism sector. Students, now coming to the next topic, we call it as the types of services. Which are the types of services and what are the types of services which have been rendered to the customers in order to satisfy the customer needs and wants, right? So here we have core services and supplementary services. Now what are the supplementary or core services? Supplementary services are nothing but they are the service which has been rendered as corollary to the sales of intangible product. It means like home delivery options. Supplementary product means home delivery. Now we have purchased the products, right, from one of the companies or one of the shops. So they will be giving you the home delivery, free home delivery. They will be sending you the whatever the purchases you have made, that will be sent to your home free of delivery or free cost of delivery, and the options offered by restaurants above the minimum bill value. So sometimes restaurants, when you enter the restaurants and you take lot of food items, right, when you have everything, finally a very high bill will be there. Finally what they do, they are going to give some discounts or offers on the high bill. So that is one of the supplementary services rendered by the restaurants and the hotels. And here also core services, it is also a service which is the primary purpose of a transaction. Core service means that is a very much basic and the important and primary services which is important on part of every transaction, because haircut or the services of the lawyer or a teacher. So this is all the basic things. So we need to take the haircut once in a month, we need to take the haircut, otherwise the hairs will be grown, right, and you look very ugly. So in order to look more pretty and more cute, what you do, you go and take your haircuts. So that is a primary aspect, right, as well as the service of the lawyers and the teachers, because every time we have to be teaching you, and it is a continuous process, and there will be clients for the lawyers, and they also will be having a primary, that is also one of the primary aspect, that is regarding the services which they are rendering. Now students, coming to the difference between the goods and services. So what are goods? See, I told you goods are tangible, where you can see and feel and touch it, but whereas service, it is an intangible, you cannot touch it, you cannot see it, but you can have it. Now it is homogeneous. Goods are homogeneous, but whereas services are heterogeneous. Then Goods are a physical commodity. It has a physical commodity, whereas it is a process or activity. This service is a process or the activity. I told you it can be called as an act, the performance, or an activity, or a deed, right? But goods are physical commodities where it is of physical in nature. Then it can be stored. Goods can be stored, but your services cannot be stored, right? Then we can see the transfer of ownership is possible under goods, but whereas your transfer of ownership is not possible because you are not giving any product, any physical product. Then production and distributions are separation of their consumption. So under goods, the production and distribution part, right, they are separation from their consumption, but whereas here production, distribution and consumption are simultaneously going as a good process or as a process. So these are the various differences between the goods and services. Coming to the maintenance service quality, how you are going to maintain your service quality. See, after attaining all the desired results, whatever the services level, then the next level which you reach is, that is, it is a great challenge which has to be faced by service providers. That is, to maintain the quality of a service or the standards or the levels at excellence. So once you meet all the or attain this desired service level, the next great challenge on part of every service provider is to see that he maintains a very good standards or the levels as well as the excellence on part of his particular service industry, right? So here it is very, very important, as well as it's a very tough, because it says establishing the service standards and maintaining them. It is a very tough and as well as important and significant, because attaining to them is very, it is in the first place. So attaining the maintenance or maintaining the quality is in the first place. Without having or maintaining the quality, then you cannot give a very good service to the customers. So therefore it says basically two approaches are there in the organization then that can attain towards maintaining of service standards. Which are those? One is proactive approach or the reactive approach. So two are the important aspects or the approaches which is very much important towards maintaining of this particular service quality. One is proactive approach and second one is reactive approach. Proactive approach. What is proactive approach? It means here it says actively reaching out to customers. You are actively reaching out to the customers and trying to gather whatever the feedbacks you get from the customers on your service quality which you have been rendering to them, and also get suggestions in the areas of improvement. So here it says proactive means it is approach where the marketer or the service marketer, he tries to be active in reaching out to the customers in order to get or to collect the feedback from the customers, as well as that is on the service quality, whatever the service quality he has maintained. So on that particular service quality, he requires the feedbacks. So he gets the feedbacks from the customers on the service quality and also the suggested improvement in that particular areas. Now this can be done through how we are going to get this particular feedbacks or the data or the information from the customers. That can be done by way of surveys, by doing surveys, as well as by administering the questionnaires. So you can give a questionnaire, frame a questionnaire, as well as gap analysis, as well as staff training. All these are various important aspects where it will help you out in order to collect the feedbacks, the suggestions, as well as in which are the areas where you need to improve your quality or the standards. Now, what is the surveys and questionnaires? It is a very good, it is an approach of proactive, right? Where it says it is a very brand to anticipate, finally, to anticipate about the customer demands and expectations. So it tells you about what are the customers' demands, what are the customers' expectations, how well you are going to prove that, and how well you are going to give the very good service in that particular area, and also aligning your service offering. Accordingly, you need to give the service. Here, the findings of such surveys can be very helpful, because when you do this particular surveys, it will be more helpful because it will identify, you can easily identify what are the common issues where you are lacking behind and what are the demands of the customers, and therefore it says helping the company in order to customize according to the service offering or its service offering. Gap analysis, it is also one of the approach that is of proactive method or approach which has been adopted in order to analyze the service, we say service quality. So to find out or to analyze the service quality, this gap analysis is being taken into consideration. It is an approach of the gap analysis. So here the company, what they do as an ideal service standard. So they will be having a very ideal standard about that particular whatever the service they are rendering, and what would we like to offer to the customers. So what will be their standards which has been set up, and how they are going to render it to the customers, in what way they are going to render it to the customers and offer it to the customers. So this gap, it identifies as well as it serves both as a measure as well as basis for planning the future course of action. So this particular gap analysis, it will help the company or the organization to measure, right? To measure what is their standards, as well as it helps in the form of planning for the future course of action, right? So that they can improve their quality standards or the service offering. Coming to the staff training, it is also one of the important, crucial aspect, because very important and very significant and a key aspect in the form of proactive approach, that is staff training. Because nowadays, if you see any company or organization of the firms, they will be generously spend lot of money towards the training of the employees or the staffs, right, or the personnel. Why? In order to see that they handle the customer requires or the complaints, so that they easily handle the customers requirements or the queries as well as the complaints. That is why lot of training is being given, and for that particular training lot of amount is spent on the employees or the staff. So here it says the company is changing its service offerings and going for price hike of these existing services. So why they are doing this? Because in order to see that they want to give a very good service, and also they want to hike whatever the service, the good service they are going to give, in order to maintain the service quality. Example you can see here. So the fast food chain, they are increasing their prices of the products, existing products which is already there in the market, and the staff has to handle multiple customers' queries regarding what? Regarding the hike. So likewise, a lack of satisfaction explanation would signify poor service standards, and that will lead to the customer dissatisfaction. So when they are increasing their price on that existing products, here the main duty of that particular workforce or the person who are there, they need to answer multiple questions or the queries regarding the hike. Why there is a hike? Why there is an increase in that particular products? Why the company has increased the product? All these questions will arise, multiple questions will arise from the customer side. So the workforce or the person who are there, they should be ready to answer that. They should be ready to answer and able to answer the questionnaires or the questions or the queries which is been put by the customers. If they don't do so, if they are not able to explain why there is a price hike in that particular existing commodities, then they will be left alone, and it says poor standards as well as it leads to customer dissatisfaction. The customer will not be happy with whatever the answer is been given, because they are not giving the proper answer regarding why there is a price hike of that particular products. So these are the various topics which I covered to you students under this particular unit, and that is the end of this particular unit 3, that is of marketing, that is service marketing. So we come to the end of this particular unit called as service marketing. So I explained to you all the topics in this particular marketing process, that is of service marketing. So I hope you understood all the topics we have covered to you. So see you in the next session. Until then, take care. Have a nice day. Thank you, students.